Hello and welcome. My name is Teresa, and in today's video we are going to make a Christmas card using the Cottage Wreaths stamp set. Now you know I got the bundle, so I have the stamps and the coordinating dies. That's right, one of them is already out, but that's okay. Now I have been making several cards today, and I'll show you all of them at the end of the video. But the husband, upon looking at them, said, why don't you make something a little more traditional Christmassy? And I thought, okay, I'm up for that challenge. I can do that. I happen to have the Designer Series paper Lights A Glow. And if you have not seen this paper, oh, look at this. Of course, each one's double-sided. This is 6 inches by 6 inches. Look at some of these beautiful papers. Okay, so this video is not about the papers, so we won't go all the way through them. I decided to use this cherry red paper. Let me put this off to the side. First thing I wanted to do is go ahead and use my base cardstock. My cardstock for the actual base of the card is the Evening Evergreen. So taking this 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, let's go ahead and on the 11-inch side, cut it at 5.5. And then of course we're going to score it on the 8.5 side by 4 1/4. Because 4 1/4 is half of 8.5. You've got that right. Okay, I do have a couple other pieces. Want to make sure I have everything at my disposal. Let me go ahead and get this started real quick. That way we're good to go. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time visiting the channel, I do hope you consider subscribing to it. I like to use the Stampin' Seal Plus. It's a super nice adhesive. I'm taking a sheet of white cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. So that'll make it 1/4 of an inch smaller than the face of the card. And that's just going to be our insert piece. Now I do want to layer it, so I'm going to cut down this 6-inch piece to that same dimension, 4 by 5 1/4. Get it lined up nice and pretty. We're going to start our layering process. So there we have it. Let me go ahead and put a block here. Well, I don't want you to see that. Oh, here's a handy tool, the bone folder. Let me get that pressed just a little bit tighter so that stays shut a little bit better. We're going to start layering it up. Now, I did want to take a piece of white cardstock, and this is just a rectangular die that I had that had a scalloped edge. So if you have one of these rectangular dies, that would be good. I'm using that, and it's going to be the first layer. Then what I wanted to do, and I'm going to show you a little trick with these, with the dies and the stamps. Okay, so here, let me go ahead and pull this out, and I'm going to show you what I did. There's this little tick mark. Can you see that? I'm hoping I don't get too much glare. So what I did is when it was on it, I took a Sharpie marker and I just made the little tick mark, and the same goes for the branch one. So do you see it? So that lines up. That'll be important in a minute. Let me show you why. Then let's go ahead, and with that tick mark facing away from me, the other thing I like to do, and you'll see why in just a second, I'm going to put my little arrow right there. Let's go ahead and ink this up. I am going to use soft succulent. Let's start inking it up with some soft succulent. There we go. Get it good and inked. Then I'm going to take some Evening Evergreen. And I've seen people roll the edges like this. And you don't have to be too precise about it. What you're looking to do is get some variety. Now, using that tick mark, lining it up where it's at, I'm going to go ahead and press. I'm going to clean up while I'm pressing. And it doesn't matter if any of that ink transfers. You'll see why in a second. Okay, let me close up this ink. I don't know how long I'm going to be, and you know, if I leave it open, I will probably wind up dropping or placing something on it. Okay, that I'll clean up in a second. Now, if you take, let me show you these. I have this one out already, but you do get, if you purchase the dies, you get 22 dies. So I double-sided this guy. Now, there are two here. See how the width of this one is much smaller? That's because this one with the smaller width is for the stamps that are for the twigs. I'm not doing that one. I'm doing this generous, thicker leaf one, so I would want this one. This is where that tick mark comes in handy. Just like it had on the, I'm sorry if I keep showing it, just like it has the tick mark here. Look at this. See if I can get up there for you. Do you see it? It has it on the die. So now all I have to do is just, because I know it's on that piece, this will get me right there where I want to be much faster. Voila. There you go. We're already there. And I don't use washi tape only because I have so many Post-it notes, long story, but I do have lots and lots of Post-it notes. So I use that, take it over to my Big Shot. And of course, I've already got it done. In the interest of saving time, there you go. Now, because I have the soft succulent and the evening evergreen, I have some depth and dimension to this piece. Look at this. We are so close, so close. So I don't know, did you know that little tip, that little trick, that little secret of the trade about those tick marks? Yes? No? Let me know in the comments below. At this point, I know I want to zhuzh it up a little bit, so I'm thinking I might use some of this. The other thing is we also have in the catalog some beautiful gold ribbon. And I'm looking for it. And it's never where I want it when I want it. Oh, let me reach over here. Here it is. It's just the gold ribbon. I think I want to make that drop down from it. The other thing I could do is emboss this piece. Do I dare leave you all for a second to emboss it? I might. I have a embossing folder that has those Swiss dots on it. So do I want to do the Swiss dots, or, you know what? Wait a minute. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I am going to do the Swiss dots. Wait one quick second. Let me see how fast I can do this. Working as fast as I can. Oh, this might be taking too long. I apologize. See, let me just come into focus real quick. See, I have some Swiss dots from Cuttlebug. My apologies for being away from you for so long. Appreciate you staying with me. Not worried about it being straight. Be right back. Let me run it real quick through my Cuttlebug. I have Cuttlebug and Big Shot. There we go. I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Yes, I do have a Cuttlebug and I have a Big Shot. I inherited the Cuttlebug from my mom. The Big Shot, I actually convinced my husband to purchase for me. And I don't mind. I purposely wanted the dots not to be too lined up. See? So we're layering. Look how close we are. I think I'm going to want to wrap this with that. So let's find out what I want to do. I am going to, now some people that will drive absolutely crazy because it's curved. For some reason today, I'm kind of digging it not being quite so even. I don't know, I surprise myself sometimes. I'm going to put a piece of glue right there. Going to put the ribbon on it. Go ahead and let that set up. And while that's setting up, I'm going to apply some of this Tombow glue to the back of my wreath. Be careful about going too close to your edges. Why? Because we don't want that glue to seep out the sides. So now we can make a decision. I think I'm going to do it like that. Just apply a little bit of pressure for a second. While we wait, let's go ahead and cut our ribbon. There we go. Put that off to the side. I know I feel like I can hear some of you because there was a time that would have bothered me, but I'm telling you, I'm kind of digging it being a little off-centered. Putting a little Stampin' Seal Plus, that will hold this. So do you see, we're starting to really create some depth and dimension. I want to, at this point, put a little Stampin' Seal Plus, and I do think I'm going to try to eyeball it for dead center. Why not? Why not? And if it's off center, that's okay. It always works out. Nobody knows what you intended to do unless you tell them. So just tell them that it's turned out exactly how you wanted it to turn out. They don't need to know. It's okay. Remember, you're making this for them. And is there anything better than that? I really don't think so. All right, let's go ahead and line this up. Place that down. And this is a very simple card. I can't wait to show you the other ones I made. Pardon me. So now we have the choice. Do we want to add it up with some stamping dimensionals? I hear you. I know. So do I. Look at this. I'm running out of them left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because I know that I'll be mailing this one. And let's go ahead and take these off using our pick tool. So how are y'all doing? Have you started your Christmas cards? Can you leave me a comment below if you've already started making your holiday cards? And the other thing, go ahead and let me know whether or not you've gotten this stamp set, this bundle, this Cottage Wreath. All right, that I do want to try to line up. That looks good to me. Now we have some options as to how we want to embellish it. This stamp set is great because we have all sorts of things. Like I could go ahead and get the red berries and put them on there, but you know, I like to elevate things a little bit. And instead of doing that, I'm going to continue using these red and green adhesive pearls because I really like the pearls. So I'm going to use the red ones. And I think right here, I'm gonna create like a little bundle of them. And maybe put, or do I want to space them out? Yeah, I should have thought of this ahead of time. I think I'm going to space them. 1, 2. The hard part, in my opinion, is always picking and choosing where do you want to put them. Because I think you'll find most of us probably are fairly consistent with placement. And sometimes you're probably screaming, branch out, do something a little different. And I hear you. Now, the last thing I could do is take my Wink of Stella and add this to some of these leaves. Now this is something you probably, and I'm going to try to stay inside of them. You won't see this necessarily on camera. I hope you do, but I don't believe that you do. And again, are these dots being crooked bugging any of you? I hope not. I like it that way. I like them a little imperfect, like nature. Actually, nature's perfectly imperfect. Okay, so there you go. We can always add more to it. We could put a sentiment on this, something on the inside. I kind of think I like it a little plain. Maybe stamp something on the inside. I know, I never do that, but I gotta tell you, the very best occasions, I absolutely love this saying. It says, with a little more sparkle and a little less stress, let's make this Christmas the very best. I can't help it. Oh, I don't even have it together. Darn it. I haven't even assembled. Well, since I don't have that assembled, I'm not going to use it. But I really like that. So we're just going to go ahead and leave this one as is. I'm going to let you take a photo of it, and then I'm going to show you all the other ones I did. So let's go ahead and bring this up. In case you want to take a photo of it, go ahead and snap one. And while you're taking a screenshot, let me pull out these other cards that I did. Did you get it? Okay, and let's put this back out. I'm going to put this one off to the side. Now, the very first one I did was this one. Isn't this cute? So I did a couple different techniques. I stamped using the leaf stamp. I stamped a couple of different colors. I want to say I did a very light seafoam green, then I did granny apple green, and then right over top of it, I used the branches and I stamped that in the evening evergreen. And of course, cut it out, and this is backed with a separate piece. This is an embossing folder I have. Oh, I don't even want to guess the name of it. If you know the name of it, please tell me. So that was the first one I did. And I was really digging the green color, so look at this one. Using that music note embossing folder. This is Crumb Cake, the soft seafoam green. That's Pear Pizzazz. This is the soft seafoam green. Look at that. Same thing. I did a couple of different colors for the leaves. You can see it in the background. There's a seafoam green, and I want to say that was old olive, I want to say. And then the branches that time I stamped with soft suede. Then I wanted to see if I could put the greeting inside of the die. Remember, it's part of this set, the bow, and so I cut out the bow. I kind of like it. The husband says it's not necessarily his favorite. Okay, then moving on, I thought, you know what, Teresa, do something a little bit more fall related. So I created my own designer paper, again using the stamps from this set, this one, and the greens, and then of course the little acorn. Cut out the branch wreath, and then this is on a 1.5 inch circle, I believe, and I just backed it. What do you think? Early espresso, the white insert. I like that. Then I thought, you know what, I have a couple of friends who live at the beach, and so I wanted to do sort of a beach theme. This is part of the designer series paper that I just used. I'm reaching to grab it real quick so you can see it. Where's it on the back up? Okay, so it's on this sheet here, so that side, which is gorgeous. But look at the back. They reminded me of like fish scales, like mermaid. So that's what sort of took this off. And then I don't know if you can see it. This is the Friends Are Like Seashells. I'm not sure if that's exactly the name of it, but that embossing folder, that is in the current catalog. Now for this, I used the branch die, but I embossed it with some gold embossing powder. Do you see that? And then this is a punch, just an ornament punch, and I double layered it. But isn't that pretty? I think that's just a lovely card for your friends who live at the beach. And then last but not least, well, not the last one I've done today is this card, because I was really into the embossing. So I embossed, I don't know if you can see it, on just the Evening Evergreen cardstock, okay? And that's applied to the Evening Evergreen. This is embossed. This one was the, I have it right here. This is the Wintry 3D, this Evergreen branch one. So I cut that, so it's actually double layered. I had cut it to size and did it. Then I cut a strip of Evening Evergreen to put the gold ribbon on it, so the gold ribbon doesn't go into the card. It's actually applied on top. And then I liked this sentiment. This sentiment came from a different stamp set. I want to say, actually I'm not going to just say, I want to say, yes, it's from the Christmas Barn. Oh, and I have cards from that too. Oh, I've been having such a good time with all the things. But anyhow, then I also used the sparkly metallic gold paper and the punches, I'm sorry, the dies, these guys, and cut out a couple of branches. Look at that. And then using those red pearl dots, I did those. So there you go. What do you think? Do you like it? Hey, is that tip new to you, especially when it comes to the little tick mark on the stamp and stuff? Anyhow, if you like this video, if you like any of the cards, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so. And if you have some crafty friends that you think might enjoy watching these videos, please go ahead and share our site with them. Thank you for stopping by, and in the meantime, and until the next time, happy stamping.